Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Well, all good things must come to an end. The Yankees' winning streak is over, TK. Other than that, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Really kind of sucks. It would have been nice to win this game, stack wins against the Nationals and the White Sox. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I'm all right. How are you,
Yeah,
Derek?
well, I mean, to go 7-0 on a road trip it was not going to be easy, right? I mean, to sweep a 4-game series is not easy. And I think overall this was a solid trip. Obviously, the Yankees would have liked to have finished it off with a win. And if you look at the standings right now, they're still in decent shape. They're 3 games back of the Jays going into September, and they're still leading the Red Sox in the wild card. So, all things considered, we could be in worse position, and we got a gauntlet coming up, which we will talk about in just a little bit. Interesting lineup today. I never expected Volpe to be hitting ahead of Ben Rice in an order for my whole life, but that's what happened today. And the Yankees came 1 run short. Let's go ahead and get to the recap. So we're going to talk a little bit about Aaron Judge today because he hit a home run in the first inning, number 43, second day in a row that he's gone deep. That tied Yogi Berra. And I was thinking, Yogi Berra, you tie him, 8-game winning streak. It seemed, he wore number 8. It was all lining up. It seemed like it was meant to be, but not today. Also just missed a home run in his second at-bat, hit one off the wall. He had 3 hits today. It looks like he's beginning to lock it in, and over the next couple of weeks, he's got a chance to carry the Yankees if he can get hot. Like, it seems like he's just on the very front part of that upward trajectory, right, where he's getting back into that groove. If he gets hot, and if they pitch to him, which they may not, he has a chance to do some real damage over the next couple of weeks. But I think the thing that people are going to remember today is that in another clutch situation, he got a hanger and popped it up. So what do you make of Aaron Judge beginning to heat up these next couple of weeks and the situation that he found himself in today?
Yeah, after watching him today, I was kind of thinking to myself, maybe he's kind of locking back in or he's adjusting to the injury. Sometimes when you have that sort of UCL strain gripping the bat, there is something that affects that a little bit. So you like tweak some things mechanically maybe, and there's an adjustment period. But yeah, he did kind of look like Aaron Judge today. I get your point. He popped out in a big at-bat at the end of the game, but I'm more so looking at the at-bat with Ben Rice, bases loaded. Like, that was where you win the game, right? I'm not going to kill Judge for that, but to me, man, the gauntlet that we got coming up, we got at Houston, Blue Jays, Tigers, at Red Sox. That's the season right here.
Yep.
It all comes down to this, the 162 in the September pennant race. This is the season right here. So show me something. Show me something.
Well, I mean, we had Bellinger doubling in a run today. He's very, very quietly top 10 in the league in RBIs. He got called out to end the game on a pitch that was inside off the plate, looked like to me. I haven't seen the replay yet because we went live as soon as the game ended, but if we see the data, I bet that it was inside off the plate. He didn't seem to like it. It seemed like it was one of those 2-seamers that kind of broke around the plate a little bit. Mike Tauchman took a home run away from Giancarlo Stanton in the 3rd inning. Credit to Sockman. I mean, that's a great play.
Defense.
And, Big G, robbed of home run number 18. Dude has been just crushing the baseball. I think he could be somebody that has a big series in Houston. He always seems to hit the ball well in Houston. Luis Gil, done after 5 1/3 innings. We'll spotlight him in a minute. He left the game with a 2-2 score and a runner on first base. Really nice job by Fernando Cruz today. TK's guy advocated getting him. And it was not a surprise that the bullpen fell apart when Fernando Cruz went down. And now that he's back, the bullpen has kind of been a little bit better. Like, I feel like he's just such an important cog in that pen that he allows other guys to kind of settle in. Tim Hill, though, served up the home run today, and the Yankees lose 3-2. Big Boss Baby Bomber says this ump was ass. Do you agree, TK?
Yeah, it was kind of whatever. I'm kind of ABS is coming, and I have mixed feelings about it. I'm pretty much for it, but I do like the human element of the game a little bit. I like managers kind of losing their mind on umpires when there's a call that they didn't get or something. I think that's just all kind of part of the fun. But when it's a situation where it's like winning or losing the game, you get annoyed and you want the call to be perfect. So he was fine. I do follow that Twitter account. They like review the umpires with like their score, and they like has every close call and how it affected the game. So it was actually pretty interesting.
I
If you
have that I follow that Twitter, but I haven't looked at today's yet.
yeah.
Anyway, I think it's called umpire scorecards or something like that.
Mhm.
Anyway, Yanks fall 3-2. Let's talk about Luis Gil. Oh, I got to update his stats a little bit. Did not update, but he went 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. I'll update the screen. TK, what'd you think about Luis Gil today?
Dude, I thought he pitched pretty well, honestly. The command was better. I noticed they talked about this. I think Meredith Marakovitz had brought this up, but he took a tick off his fastball to try to locate a little bit better. I'm fine with that because he's still like throwing 95, even if he's not trying to throw as hard as he can. I thought the slider looked really good. There were a couple pitches there that were really, really sharp. And I think he's getting close to what he was last season when he won Rookie of the Year. But I think he's kind of still in this sort of build-up phase or just on the tail end of that. So I'm fine with him kind of sitting 95. I think Luis Gil, it's like almost better with, especially with the injury. It's pitch sort of within kind of reason about, you're sitting 95 and that's fine. And then when you need a big strikeout, Garrett Cole does this now because he can't throw 99 every time. But it's like when you
Right.
need that 98, it's in there and you can give it at that spot.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that seems like what Garrett Cole is kind of doing. And I wonder
Mhm.
if that was something like, how last year Cole worked with Gil when Cole was on the IL to begin the season with the swelling in his elbow. Now that he's kind of around the team but not pitching because he had Tommy John surgery, you wonder if he's kind of working with Gil again. And he said, hey, man, you're having control problems. Maybe dial it back a little bit and do what I do. Like, throw strikes, make sure you pound the zone. And then when you need to, dial it up, you don't have to worry about overthrowing because most of the time you're going to be going up in the zone anyway, right? And so
Yeah.
you can throw harder when you're up in the zone. And, maybe that's the goal is it, pick up the strikeouts with the high fastball. But yeah, I thought he threw the ball well today. You got the ERA down to 3.68, whip at 1.60, 98 pitches, 63 strikes. Solid performance. But let's talk a little bit about the Yankees at large. State of the Yankees. All right. So overall, 7-1 road trip, and we've got 3 games. All right. So actually, no, it's 3-1 road trip, and we've got 3 games ahead of us. The 3 games against Washington were at home. So 3-1 on the road, off to a really good start. 2 out of 3 against Houston. Is it possible? I'd sign up for 2 out of 3 against Houston right now. I don't think you're going 3-0 under any circumstances. To win the series, to me, would be huge. Can we do
Dude,
it?
2 out of 3. I'm signing up for that right now. Remember last season when they started the season in Houston, and didn't we sweep? I think it was like a 3
Yeah,
game
4
set
straight.
or
No, it's 4 straight,
4
I
game
think.
set. A 4 game set that they swept. I mean, that was huge. But this Houston team is a lot better than they were last year. Hunter Brown, I think they're avoiding Hunter Brown. Thankfully, I think he pitched today, so they're not going to see him, who's Houston's best pitcher. But I think Carlos Correa is hurt. So Yordan Alvarez, though, he just came back off
He's
the
back.
IL. He's always snake bitten the Yankees in the past. But dude, I'll sign up for 2 out of 3 right now in Houston. I hate that team so much. I hate that. I want to go to the ballpark just because I'm trying to tick them all off, but like I'm just gonna feel annoyed when I'm there. I just know it. It's just like a house of horrors for the Yankees. So I sign up for 2 out of 3 right now.
How do you think the Yankees will realistically do? Like, I know we would sign up for 2 out of 3. If you had to bet, like if I said, okay, I'll give you 2-1 odds, how much money are you putting on like a series of results?
Man, well, I'll say this again. They went what is it? They went 6-1 against the Nationals and the White Sox. Yay, yeah, 6-1, stacking wins, great. But that to me is kind of like, okay, what are you going to do against Houston and then Toronto and then Detroit and then Boston? Those are all the playoff teams. Those are all the teams that they've been god awful against this season. So history has shown me for at least this season and history in the past with Houston that they're not probably going to play well. They're probably going to do 1 out of 3. However, if you believe in do, and they've been bad about all year this season, maybe this is the series where they take 2 out of 3. And I think it's really going to come down to they're going to win one game. Houston's going to win one game. And then that third game is going to be who can steal it, who can steal the third game. That's kind of, I think, how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I think so too. Man, I don't know, man. This gauntlet: 3 against Houston, 3 against Toronto, 3 against Detroit, and then 3 against Boston. So 12 games. Would you sign up for 6-6 right now, knowing that the final 13 are against Minnesota, Baltimore, and the White Sox?
Yeah, I mean, I'd sign up for 6-6, but that wouldn't be very encouraging in terms of showing me that they can play well against real teams. Because then they got like the Twins and then the Orioles and then the White Sox and then the Orioles. So the rest of the season is like whatever. But also, they're at Houston and they're at Boston. Both ballparks, which have just been a house of horrors for them, too. It's like, I'm not really scared about going to Toronto. I'm not really scared about going to Detroit. But, going to
both those
Fenway and going
series are at Yankee Stadium anyway. Like
yeah,
Toronto or
so
Detroit, they're both coming.
that's what I'm saying though. Like if it were on the road, I wouldn't be as concerned. But being at Houston and being at Fenway is always an element, I think. For
I don't know.
Yankees.
Toronto kind of kicked our ass in Toronto earlier this year. They kind of had our number up there. I don't know. I feel good about Houston more so than Boston. I feel like the Yankees play okay in Houston. I feel like Judge hits well in Houston, and he's starting to heat up. Giancarlo's hot. We know right now he swings the bat well in Houston. I could see Jason Dominguez, if he gets some at-bats, doing some damage because he's a lefty that hits the ball the other way, and those balls could go out of the... I could see Austin Wells going the other way. I could see Trent Grisham. Like, I feel like the Yankees might actually pick up some home runs in this series using the Crawford boxes because they hit a lot of fly balls to left field when they need to, and it's the lefties that are good at it, right? You try not to do that at Yankee Stadium because it's 400 feet out there, but you can, like Jason Dominguez's first home run, I mean, that's an out at Yankee Stadium. I think that they might actually do some damage, but the question will be, can they shut down Houston also? Toronto, that series at home, I think how that series goes will go entirely dependent on how the Houston series goes and the momentum. Like if the Yankees win 2 out of 3, especially if they win the last game, I feel like they'll be feeling some good momentum coming home, and maybe you're 2 games back at that point. I don't know, but you're definitely going to be within striking distance if you play well in Houston. At worst, you're like maybe 4 games back. I could see the Yankees having that momentum and playing well, and then you got the day off. And Detroit, I know that they're a scary team, but the Yankees seem to own the AL Central. I know they took a couple of games from the Yankees earlier this season, but I think the Yankees might win 2 out of 3. And then Boston. I think it all could come down to that series in Boston, the 12th, 13th, and 14th, where if the Yankees are like a game or 2 out, you got to go in there and just destroy Boston and then coast with these, or not let your foot off the gas, but beat up on Minnesota and Baltimore down the stretch. But this could be interesting. Who's your sleeper pick for the series, or for September, really? Like, who's going to be the guy that steps up and carries us if we get where we want to go?
I'm giving this some thought right now. There's the guy that comes to my mind immediately for whatever reason is Jazz Chisholm. I don't know why. I just feel like he'll have this big moment, a big home run, something. I think that Yankee fans like to get on him a lot. Sometimes his whole personality, I get it. People sometimes don't like it, whatever. But he's a damn good player, man. I don't have his stats in front of me, but he's had a really solid season. So he's made some errors in the field, but I just feel like he's going to kind of come through in the clutch at one point. I still remember that home run he hit in the World Series after Aaron Judge. That was pretty electric, that moment. That was a bomb. So I don't know. For some reason, Jazz Chisholm.
I'm gonna pick 2. I'm gonna say, oddly, I think Volpe is getting ready to heat up because he's had a long cold stretch. I thought he swung the bat better in this series. I could see him having some big hits over the next several games. And another guy with Judge that's heating up at the right time. You figure they're going to attack him because he has not had a good year. And when he's heating up and he's getting attacked with fastballs, I could see him running into a couple of home runs. So I think, this team is not going to change their approach. They're going to stay home run or nothing. So I'm riding with guys who I think are likely to hit home runs. And I think that Volpe is one of those guys who's getting ready to do that. And then Trent Grisham, he's making a charge for 30. He's had a number of humongous hits this season. I could see him having a big September, especially in that series against Toronto. Like coming back to Yankee Stadium, he's been swinging the bat really well at Yankee Stadium. He's going to be amped up. He's playing for a contract. He's going to get that charge of energy. Toronto and Detroit, like those. I'm not sure who we're going to face in Detroit. I don't imagine we'll even see him if we got Scooble on the mound. But I could see him having a big series against Toronto. So Grisham and Volpe, my picks for September. And I'm going to throw this in there. Cam Schlittler, the way he's been pitching. He's making a charge for that playoff rotation. If you had to pick your final 2 spots in the rotation right now from the 3 guys that we got. So we got a 4-man rotation in the playoffs, okay? Top 2 are clearly Fried and Rodon. And then you have to pick 2 from Will Warren, Cam Schlittler, or Luis Gil. Who goes to the pen? Who's the odd man out?
Will Warren's the odd man out. I don't even hesitate. Luis Gil and Cam Schlittler are I think Schlittler's the Game 3 starter. To be honest.
I think Schlittler's probably Game 3 right now, but I don't know. Warren, he misses a lot of bats, man, and Luis Gil, I mean, he could be dominant in the pen as hard as he throws, right? I mean, he could be a guy that comes in and pitches lights out like does. The Yankees have done that before. Remember Hughes in 2009 moved to the pen from being a starter down the stretch, and he was awesome in the playoffs, came up huge. I don't know. I wouldn't bet the house on that. The power arm going to the pen could be a difference maker. Although Will Warren, I mean, he throws strikes. That's important for the pen too.
Yeah, I think either one could work out there. I think also there's a little bit of Luis Gil won Rookie of the Year. They're going to give him the nod. I think I believe he must have pitched in the playoffs last year. I think. Yeah. So a little bit of that experience. I don't know if they're going to want to go with Will Warren and Cam Schlittler, who both don't have a lot of who are both essentially kids. I mean, Luis Gil's very young as well, but he's at least kind of pitched in some big games, and he's shown out a little bit. So with Cam Schlittler, he's looked amazing, and I love his stuff, and he is quickly, to me, sort of making it so that when Clark Schmidt comes back from Tommy John, he's expendable. You could probably trade him, honestly. But Cam Schlittler, to me, I think he's going to be really good. But the playoffs are a bit of an unknown sort of element with him. I don't know how he's going to react to that kind of moment. You never really know until you put him in there. So I think he'll rise to the occasion just from what I've seen. But playoffs, Yankee Stadium, it's different animals. So I don't know. We'll just have to see.
All right. So we're going to get to DraftKings real quick, do a quick ad, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the MVP race, Judge and Cal Raleigh, which is going to be settled over the next month. Back in 60 seconds. The dog days of summer mean it's time for the boys of summer to kick it into gear. And the best way to cash in on your baseball IQ is with DraftKings Sportsbook. Never bet on baseball before? It's simple. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, TK. So Cal Raleigh hitting .240 with 50 home runs and 107 ribbies. He's got 14 stolen bases, a .932 OPS. Aaron Judge, 43 home runs now. I didn't catch his latest batting average. I believe it's 320 something. See what it is after today. But just a monster year. He's got an OPS over 1,000. He's got an OPS of 1.117, 324 average. So right now, statistically, I think Judge is better, despite being a little bit behind in home runs and RBIs and stolen bases. But I don't know, man. I think this is going to be one of the more interesting MVP races. Both teams have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, I think they're going to give it to Cal Raleigh just because he's a catcher, he's a switch hitter, 50 home runs. You know, I think teams or writers are looking for a reason to take it from Aaron Judge too.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think Aaron Judge getting hurt also, even though he didn't really miss any time, definitely hurt him because he kind of slumped after that. But I think there's a little bit of like that, Yankees Judge fatigue in the writers. And again, as you said, Cal Raleigh being a switch hitter and a catcher, had an incredible season. But Jeff Passan was talking about this. You said Cal Raleigh's only hitting like 250 or 240. So it really shows you like what baseball thinks about batting average, because Judge is comfortably above 300. And it's like going to be the same thing with Luis Ariz is going to be a free agent this summer or this winter. Sorry. And that's really going to tell you what the industry thinks about batting average based off what he gets. So that's going to be interesting. But I do think, unless we're talking about Judge going on this hot streak, and let's say he goes out of his mind this month and, he really lifts the Yankees to maybe even winning the division, because it's not out of the question with a series of Toronto coming up if they play well. So let's say Judge goes nuts and they win the division, then I think Judge may be getting it at the last second there.
Yeah, I'd say if he hits, let's say 10 home runs in September, right? That'll put him at 53.
Yeah.
Let's say he hits, 330 to 350 with the average. That'll put him up over around 330. 330 with 50-plus home runs and great defense and a playoff team, and especially if they're able to come back, even if they don't win the division, if they win the top wild card, I think that would seal the deal. But I still feel like there's a bias among writers who are not from New York, and they'll look for any excuse to take it away from Judge. But anyway, this is going to be a gauntlet. We're going to have some fun guests this week. We got Jonna from Babes Media coming on Tuesday. We got Frankie Baseball on Wednesday. We got Eric Kratz on Thursday. And we'll see about Friday. We're going to do a voicemail show tomorrow evening to talk about this gauntlet we've got coming up. So call in for that, 718-899-1068. TK, any final thoughts here before we head off to Labor Day?
Let's go Yanks. That's it.
I'll take it. Win streak snapped, but our spirit rages on. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.